So I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah. And when I say that, wherever I may be, the next question that comes up is, are you Mormon? I grew up in the Mormon church with my grandparents until I was about 14 years old. And then I graduated from high school and I decided to go to college in Seattle. And my dad had a spiritual friend who would always tell me to open my mind and, God is flowing through all, divine order is everywhere present. And after months of him continuously telling me this, I finally opened my heart and mind enough to receive some books that he was giving me. And the books that he gave me related to concepts such as the Christ consciousness and recognizing the unity that is flowing through all things. And it made sense because I was spending a lot of time at various Christian churches, and I would dive deep into the Bible, and I would read certain things, but then listen to what people were saying in a whole other way. It just didn't seem to match, at least my inner world. And when he gave me these books, such as The Way to the Kingdom, it really opened my mind to identify with not just Jesus as being a man, but being a conscious state that we can embrace and apply to our day-to-day experience. Now, I haven't walked on water. I haven't turned water to wine. But I have recognized the ability to live in a loving way, in a peaceful way, and being willing to recognize the light that is shining within myself, not just in me, but within all people, recognizing the flow that's ever-present, the golden thread, as Ernest Holmes puts it. And I've just been continuing to walk down that path. So I graduated with my degree in accounting in Seattle, which is the reason why I speak. But I did graduate in accounting, and at that time I started putting together a book of poetry, because this was right about that same time that I was opening my mind to these deeper teachings. And I decided not to go get a typical job and work in a cubicle. Instead, I printed about 2,000 books, and I hit the streets of Seattle. And I just started walking through the city, sharing the book with anybody that I could, just asking them if they enjoyed poetry. And if they said yes, then I would have a little spiel that I would tell them. And I felt everybody had $3 to $5 to support this 20-page chapbook. And I ended up selling 2,000 books. And I just continued with that. And then I moved down to Sacramento to do some accounting work, and then out to Atlanta 4 years ago to invest or to start my real estate investing business. And a year and 2 months ago, I had my first opportunity to speak. And it's just really opened and unfolded since then. I recently gave my first TED Talk. I recently had an interview with Michael Everett. And in the last year, I had the opportunity to speak over 70 times. So I just feel that by embracing that inner essence, being willing to step forth with patience, persistence, and the recognition of God that's everywhere present, it's really just helped to expand me in my own life. It took me as far away as Peloton, which I'm going there again.
So that's interesting. So you didn't have any preconception of wanting to be a speaker? It just kind of unfolded, that path sort of unfolded for you?
Yes. Well, when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, now I thought there was a lot of churches in Salt Lake City where I grew up, but when I moved to Atlanta, I mean, there's more churches there than I could even imagine. Yes. And so I was driving around and I was thinking, there has to be at least one spiritual center here. All these crosses on these churches, all these different sects of Christianity. I typed in spiritual communities, and the Center for Spiritual Living popped up. And I walked in there, and it's very similar to Unity and Charles Whitmore and Ernest Holmes, their philosophies, almost mirror one another. And I walked in there about four years ago, and it felt at home. And I just started volunteering. I started working with the youth. I eventually became a team director, and I just would be of service. And then the reverend, the senior minister, David Hall, gave me an opportunity to speak. And he let me speak in front of the congregation, and there's about 500 members there. And I just really used the principles of envisioning, of practicing, and then I gave them the message, and it was received so
you sort of told us a little bit about your spiritual journey, but that's usually the follow-up question, where unity you thought fits in. So maybe tell us a little bit about what it was like to discover you thought coming from a Mormon background is pretty different, right? So tell us maybe a little bit more about your journey into unity, religious science, you thought, how that felt to you. Was that a hard thing to kind of embrace that theology that was so different? Yeah, just flesh that out a little bit for us.
Yeah, well, I don't know how familiar you may be with the Mormon philosophy. It's quite interesting. My sister and I were two of the only kids in our whole area who had a slight different tint of skin. And I remember during our primary classes, the teachers teaching that Cain who slew Abel, Cain's descendants were painted black for their sins. And me and my sister were two of the only kids who had any hint of color. And so we immediately felt as if we were marked with something, some iniquity, or something that was against us, that we may not be as worthy. And when I would listen to the deeper teachings of Jesus and read in the Bible, I realized that there's something great that was within me that a lot of people were maybe unwilling to see. So I never truly aligned with what they were teaching. While I also never went to another person to tell them what path they must follow. I've learned that we're all kind of on our own journey. And so my grandmother gave me an opportunity when I was 13, when I was about 12 or 13. Somebody wrote a Bible word on the chalkboard that was against me and my sister. And my grandma said, no, you don't want to go, you don't have to. And so then after that, I kind of transitioned into no man's land for a while. And then I moved to Seattle, and my father was a Baptist. And so I just kind of started looking deeper into the Bible. And I liked the Bible. And I just started reading it more and more. And then that really didn't align. And then I went to this non-denominational church. And it was a little bit more something to grasp onto. And really got even deeper into the Bible. Started to interpret it more in a way that is like that. And so I think all of that was opening me to my father's friend and giving me these books. And then when I did stumble into God, after reading Joe Wilson and Course in Miracles and all of these other books, it just felt right. So when I look back at it, I actually say that every single path, all our different pathways and journeys and stepping stones are essential to lead us to where we are in this moment. And when I look back, I'm very grateful for the good and the bad, seeing that they were all necessary to help me and open my mind to what I can do.
Well, it sounds like you've taken this long leap too. If you're speaking for, started just a little over a year ago. Tell us how you encountered Michael Beckwith. How did you do that?
Oh, so one thing, if you want to speak, if you want to expand business, you have to be willing to leave your comfort zone and let people know who you are. So how I got on the radio show with Michael Beckwith is the same way that I got on TED Talk, is the same way that I speak at colleges, is I will call until they give me an opportunity to hear who I am. And so with Michael Beckwith, I called, tried, because I wanted to speak there. That didn't align. Then I got directed to his assistant, who said, there might be an opportunity for a radio show. And I literally called him 20 to 30 times. Not all in a day, not all in a week, but maybe every week, just to let him know that I'm there and that I share some of the things I've been doing. And then I got to be good friends with Jackie Simone Elliott, who is an assistant of Michael Beckwith. And I sent her out a book of mine and some of my videos. And she introduced me to Jacqueline Brown, who's the radio director. And over time, she eventually said, we're looking to do a series on emerging young spiritual leaders, and we would like to be a part of it. And so, that was so great just to talk with Michael, because him in The Secret is something that really had inspired my growth. And seeing somebody who is of a different background as well, something that I could relate to, really stood out and was powerful to me. So to be able to be on that was motto is, I will call until I have an opportunity, and I'm not doing so to be bothersome. I'm doing so because I feel it's unethical for me if I don't continue to persist, because there's at least one person who benefit from my message. And if I give up on myself, then I'm ultimately possible giving up.
Interesting. So it sounds like it's part of a mission too. I mentioned in your bio you've got the mission to empower 1 million minds. So tell us about that and how that came to be.
Yeah, so I say that 1 million minds by the end of 2016, and some people gasp in amazement. And I say there's cat videos on YouTube of 300 million. So I've been sharing. I mean, it's just something that stood out to me, and it challenges me. And speaking at places, and I don't know how to truly mark it or measure it, but opening my mind to this 1 million minds is what led me to be able to give the TED Talk, and what led me to be able to speak on my breakfast radio show, and what has led me to be able to share at college campuses and high schools. And if I don't hit that million mark by the end of 2016, as long as I know inwardly that I'm willing to do what I feel that I'm here for, then I know that all is in divine time. And I look at TED videos often, and many of them have quite a lot of views. So I just feel that it's my responsibility just to speak the truth and shine my light. And if it's received by 1 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 or none, I know that it's something that's expressing by something that's much more bigger.
So tell us about the TED Talk. Was that in Atlanta that you did that, or and what was your subject? And because that's what the Dream of Mine is to do to the talk one day. So tell us about that.
So the TED Talk was at UNLV in Las Vegas. My little sister lives down there. She is still a part of the college speaker about that day, but she embraces her Mormonism. And she told me, Jeffon, why don't you come down here and you should try to do a TED Talk. And I've submitted for TED Talks before, and I wasn't accepted. And so I kind of just pushed it off. But this one, I felt that it aligned with me because it was living in the extreme. That was the thing. And I submitted, and I was accepted. And my message was about power and compassion. You see, growing up in Salt Lake City, my mom was adopted from Scotland. My dad is African American. And I grew up in this area where it was predominantly European descent. And growing up, I felt as if I was this unique puzzle piece that didn't fit into the puzzle that the society, the community, the city that I was a part of was creating. I felt as if I was this puzzle piece that was flung to the side of the room and nobody truly gave attention to. People would push it to the side and not recognize the uniqueness that I feel my life had for this world, for this city, for the place that I was born. And so I spoke to that. I spoke to being one of those individuals who at times felt left out and not included because of the mask or the external reflection that people saw. And so I opened people's minds to that, and then I dove deeper by expressing that everybody we pass on a day-to-day basis, we see just a piece of them. We are all going through something. We are all living and experiencing our own individual lives. And it is important for us not only to recognize the masks that we may wear as we go throughout our day, but it is of the utmost importance for us to begin to look beneath the masks of the other people who we are passing on a day-to-day basis, or the people that we are sitting next to, or the people we work alongside. Recognizing that what we truly see is just a small piece of them, and we have the opportunity to connect with who they truly are. And there are people in my life who did that. Teachers, some of my friends' parents, who were willing to not see me for my circumstances that I was born into. I don't think that I chose it, maybe I did, but that I was born into. People who were willing to look deep and see the true me. And those are the individuals who propelled me to step forward and actually have belief in myself. So I shared that message and encouraged people as they go throughout their day, moment by moment, to be willing to shine their light just a little bit more into the lives of others. Because you never know what somebody is going through. And you never know how like to help somebody step through their own darkness. And also don't fear the darkness, because each and every one of us may be going through some things or went through some things, but as we look out into nature, we recognize how essential some of those trials are. The seed is first sown in the darkness of the soil before it can bloom. Each and every one of us in here spent our first months on this earth in the darkness of our mother's womb. The earth was birthed forth from the infinite darkness of the universe, and our darkest trials and tribulations are those things that can empower us to grow into who we are. So that's a long story long.
That's so cool. Good for you. So, let's see where I go. It did say in your bio that speaking, empowering, and inspiring individuals to be the best they can be is something I've done as a kid, since I was a kid. So maybe tell us how that started when you were little, and if you have a favorite demographic for an audience, because you work with kids, you work with pretty much everybody across the board. So tell us when you started to inspire people as a child, and whether or not you have a particular favorite audience to speak to.
So, as a child, so I was raised with my grandparents, and I was very shy, but my grandfather would always take me around and always encourage me, introduce yourself, don't stand behind me, say hello, shake your hand. And as a kid, you hear certain things and you start to believe it, and my grandma and grandpa would always say, everybody loves JJ. They called me JJ, Jeffon Jr. And I really didn't understand how I could use my words and my energy to inspire others until I saw people who were close to me struggle with their own difficulties, their darkness, addiction, depression. And so I always have, I just chose to see things as blessings instead of curses. And even though some experiences have been very difficult, recognizing that there's always a way to make it out. So I brought that message to my father, to my mom, and to some of my friends who were dealing with a lot of addiction. And some friends, they didn't take heed to the words. I had friends who passed away from overdoses, and people who seemed to have it all. I had parents who had money and could support them and could get them into nice schools, and they just smoke it away or buy pills. So seeing all of these things and people who didn't believe in my ability is fuel for me to be the light, especially in this world and in this generation. And my favorite demographic to speak to is to the youth. And when I say youth, I would say anywhere from 13 to 20. I feel that they're open. I just spoke at a preparatory academy in Atlanta. It was an all-girls school. And just seeing the light shining from them, the willingness for them to listen. I mean, they don't just listen to anybody, but being willing to put things in cool ways for them to feel like it's cool to actually hear the message and apply it. And I just did a workshop in Seattle at college, and it's one of the most diverse schools in the nation. They speak over 155 different languages on the campus. I didn't know there was that. But just being willing to engage with those who are open to ideas such as seeing the oneness that we share with each other, recognizing the commonalities that connect us as human beings, the beauty of the planet that we're standing on. And but I've been also able to speak at a lot of spiritual community, which I really, really enjoy because I feel that it's like-minded. And I don't just hope to share wisdom there, but I also learn from God's perspectives.
So, you're a community leader, and you've done everything from developing scholarship programs to cultivating sustainable farms. Tell us about that, about being a community leader, and what prompted your dedication to finding new and better ways to live alongside one another.
Yeah, so there's always And there's always places where we can add our light and help other people shine. When I was living in Atlanta and I was a team director, I had the opportunity to write a scholarship program for the teams. We created this spirit badge program where they could bring their spirit into a certain situation and share about it. And they reach a certain mark and they get X amount for their scholarship on the side. And that was important to me because I didn't have money to go to college. Thankful for FAFSA, financial aid, not alongside, but I was able to go, but there were quarters and years where it didn't come through. And there were people who were willing to point me in the right direction to obtain scholarships. And then there were also people who were willing to help me to be able to pursue this. And seeing when somebody believes in you, just helps you recognize that you actually have a purpose or gifts to bring out into the world. So that's where that scholarship fund kind of that fuel for that came. Is realizing that there's people who need it, who genuinely accept it and apply it for their highest and best. And then creating the sustainable farm was something that I go down to Boleton, Honduras. I had a friend who was from Seattle who didn't have his paperwork right. I sent back down there, and we've been living for the last 5 years. And it started with just bringing clean water into their village. Then it's expanded into working with some of the youth in the area. Then it blossomed into creating a sustainable farm. And now I've been helping with entrepreneurial ventures, in particular a little restaurant. And last time I was there, I was able to do workshops, even though I don't speak Spanish, but I had it translated and some. But yeah, all of this is just brought about by realizing that we're not here forever. You know, studies have shown that we take 25,000 breaths each day, but many of us aren't even aware of one. Our heart beats 100,000 times a day, but many of us are so busy going from point A to point B that we don't even recognize our heart is beating even more deeply. The essence is enabling all of that to be. So as I'm living my life, I just feel that if I'm here, I might as well use my life, my essence, my energy in a way that's not only bringing me happiness and joy or my family or those close to me, but making a deeper impact on this world. And I feel as we look in unity readings and teachings, as we scroll through the internet, as we pay homage to great minds, we look up to those people and we honor them because of the way that they use their time and energy while they were here on earth. And we are as valuable and worthy as anybody who has walked the face of this planet. That's why I resonate with unity and the Center for Spiritual Living's message so much, because it's not saying the answer is out there, it's pointing to the essence that is in here. Realizing that we are standing on top of the shoulders of our ancient ancestors, and we are descendants of the elements and stars and minerals that are above us, and we are walking upon a planet that has been in formation, creating perfect habitat for us to abide in. It's just like, what a beautiful opportunity. And on top of that, we're here in America. You know, there's people in Honduras who would trade places with any of us in the snap of a finger. So while I'm here, even though it's not always easy, even though it's not always peaches and cream or the road is filled with beautiful flowers, while I'm here, it's a great time to just use my life and my life to the highest.
That's great, Jeffon, because I think for a lot of people, what stops them is a feeling of unworthiness or insecurity or, who am I to give to Jeffon? Who am
how to embrace and as a young boy internalize them and actually believe that they were true. And as we know, walking this spiritual path, the way that we see ourselves within dictates how the world out there will respond to us. And so when I did give my first talk in Atlanta, there was a huge wall that I was willing to run into full force. There's a beautiful quote that says, on the opposite side of fear, or what's on the other side of fear, is nothing. It's only our mind that creates what's on the opposite side of that fear, or what is just beyond fear. So being willing to embrace and see your gifts as important, realizing that there will never be another you in the entirety of the universe, realizing that you are a unique expression of the infinite, that you have gifts and abilities that only you can bring out into this world. If there's a book that you want to write, then the book that you will write will never be written by no other person. If there's a song or a painting like these ones you see on the walls, that's something that's within you, and it's important that you bring it out into existence. And so when I gave my first speech, it was late 2014 until my next speech, which was May 31st of last year, I had to find confidence and courage. And we can read books, we can go on meditations and workshops, but if we're unwilling to put the principles into action, then it just stays as head knowledge. And I was willing to do it. And I was just sitting in my house and I was doing a meditation and I felt something tell me, Jeffon, if you're willing to step towards what you believe to be true, then there will be doors that will open. And I chose to believe that. And then I just started reaching out, and not everybody has brought me in or helped me along my journey, but I feel that everybody has been imperative and essential for it. And reaching 1 million minds there's a lot of people out there in the world. And I feel my generation especially, there's something that they are reaching for that many don't know that is there. And it's not out there, but it's there. So just being willing to be the bridge to take people from here to here, or wherever it may be. And, it's a moment by moment thing. Because we can build walls in our conscious mind just as easily as we can create doorways of opportunity. And we can create barriers or so-called traps just as easily as we can ascend into our highest and best. And it is something that we just must embrace in our own individual world, take control and be willing to transform doubt into faith and fear into strength, and be willing to just step forth into who we are here to be. After all, think of all the things that have gone into enabling you to be here in this very moment of now. It's innumerable blessings. It's innumerable support. So being willing to embrace this on a deep level and put it forth into action and take it to incredible places.
So I opened the door. Literally, I opened the door to Jeffon. That's how he got here. He came to the front door. I've never done that before. I've brought somebody in, had a talk. Yeah, you can speak. There was just something about Jeffon that I really resonated with, I really admired. And so I have seen how that is working in your life because I was a part of that. So it's great to talk to you, Jeffon. I have a number of questions that I can still ask, but I wanted to give other people an opportunity to see if you have any questions you'd like to ask Jeffon. And if not, I'll keep it up. Yeah, Marcy.
Jeffon, when did you become so wise? Because I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm just kind of amazed. We all have trials and tribulations, but you're coming from such a different place at such a young age. So tell me how this individuality and this creation of your knowledge of your essence developed. Can you share that with me?
Well, it wasn't
Of course not. Right.
But as I was telling Reverend Maggie, all these steps throughout my life has been essential in the development of who I am. And being willing to look back at the good and the bad and see that they were all stepping stones to help lead me to this present moment of now has been essential. And seeing things as blessings instead of curses. And then diving deeply into things like recently sitting with the Lumbee tribe, which is up in Seattle. I've been doing a lot of work with the indigenous community. And one of the elders said that the longest distance that any human being can travel is the distance from here to here. And so I spent many years just filling my mind with knowledge and things, and I would be able to say it, and I would put it into poems, and it would feel right. But being able to embrace that and take it into things such as meditations and venturing out into nature and leaving the seemingly stressful and chaotic situations or cities, and just really being willing to sit with the stillness of my inner being has been imperative to help me embrace and embody what I believe to be true, which is we are all here, we are all one, there is one essence, there is one energy, there is one power. It is enabled each and every one of us to be in this very moment of now. It is within all of our atoms and cells. It is that which is beating our hearts, which is breathing our breaths, and it's not just in here, it is flowing through all things. So it's been a moment by moment experience, and being willing to leave comfort zones and step towards what I believe to be true, even though I may not see where it's taking me, but having the faith that I'm in the flow. And so, yeah, books have been beautiful, and being around inspiring people who are willing to also see the light within me has been just essential. I don't know if that answers the question.
No, I'm just really in awe of how easily you express yourself. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but you're certainly a lot younger than I am, and I'm just in awe that you know, there are so many trials that we all go through, but not everybody is able to walk past the fire. Some people get caught in the fire, some people retreat, and yet you know, you're on the other side, and very enlightened, and God bless you.
Yeah, I would like to ask you, what aided you in your separation from the Mormon church? Because the thing is that I'm not Mormon, but I have visited that church a long time ago, and it seems that religion is all encompassing, you know, and you were brought up in it. So what helped you to separate yourself from that religion? It must have been pretty difficult.
You know, it was a unique division, I should say. Everybody in my community is Mormon. In the area I grew up, if you're not Mormon, then you're looked at as weird, or as you're going to hell, or whatever the case may be. But there was one huge thing that happened that made my separation extremely easy. And this, I don't share this story a lot, but I will here. I was 12 years old, maybe 13. No, 12. I was 12 years old. My grandmother is the librarian at the Mormon church. So we would always be able to leave the sacrament or the congregation meeting early and go to the library and just draw and hang out. And that means I'm always the first one in my Sunday school class. And so one of these days I was walking into my Sunday school classroom, and on the chalkboard there was a huge, somebody wrote very big, "No N-words allowed." And mind you, my sister and I were two of the only kids in our whole ward or state, in that whole area, who had a different tint of skin. And so I went and I told my grandmother, and my grandma was raised in central Utah, of all places. So she's never really experienced that discrimination, but this was the first time that she saw discrimination happen to somebody that she loved, and she actually felt it. She took that message and went and talked to the person who runs it, the bishop, and he didn't do anything about it. They knew who did it. They didn't apologize. They didn't bring the kid in. They didn't say anything. And it was at that moment that my grandmother realized that maybe it wasn't a place that was accepting of who I was. And she gave me an opportunity or a choice if I wanted to go or not. And I decided not to go, but I still kept friends in the community and in the church. And I never said that that was the teachings or that was something that the leadership brought about, but I just saw the way that they handled things, and I realized that many of them were never in the face of discrimination or have been discriminated against. And it was just an easy thing for me. And on top of that, I
talked to Jeffon about, including the fact I didn't even get a chance to talk to him about his creative work. He's got a book out that's going to be out in the Fillmore room following the service. We'll be doing a book signing and then a workshop this afternoon at 1 o'clock. So we'll be doing